Good day, fellow pangendrums of the Lasellian community. I just want to convey a quick message in relation to Are You OK Day. Now, because the day is all about spreading awareness for mental health and mental ill health, uh, one must, and I beseech you all, to open up, or at least attempt to open up the channels of communication with anyone you know by simply asking them how they are going during these tough times. I know some absolutely relish lockdowns, others are indifferent and unconcerned, but there are undoubtedly some people, if not the majority of people, who are truly struggling with it all. Even just a text via social media or a phone call can have a tremendously prodigious impact. From my humble view, and it is just a view, I reckon arranging a walk with a mate is probably one of the best things you could do. Not only do you socialize with another Homo sapien outside of the household, but you are also exercising, which is apparently good for you. One dear friend of mine astutely said that exercise produces serotonin and in turn hormones that boost our happiness. Now, if you don't accept the science of it, at least try it for yourself. So, tip number one, start walking with friends or even just by oneself, as I often do. Whenever I walk, I usually put in earphones and sometimes listen to some classical music, which often has the effect of allowing me to escape from my personal worries and become immersed in nature and the sound of instruments. It produces a sensation of what Edmund Burke would call the sublime, which in turn puts my life into perspective, which re energizes my confidence and zeal to live and learn. In terms of being proactive and engaging in self care, another tip is to have and adhere to a routine. I know I always force myself to get out of bed every morning, to have a shower and get ready for school. I try never to succumb to the almost irresistible temptation of just staying in bed and turning on Teams without the camera on and without the mic on. But one of the worst things you can do is to disengage from class. And so I find that one of the most effective ways to maintain engagement and motivation levels is to set yourself up on a desk and prepare to learn as opposed to enjoying the indisputable splendor of getting lost in one's blankets in bed. So tip number two, have a routine and get out of bed. Another tip is to ensure that you don't sacrifice the things you love so as to allocate more time to school. It is very easy to lose track of time during lockdowns, as the days and nights often merge. I know some days when I'm busy, I end up spending my whole day in front of the screen studying and learning without much respite. This should be avoided. So, tip number three, ensure that you break up the day by engaging in your hobbies, whether that be gaming, TV or books. One last tip is to make the most of this. There was once a German philosopher by the name of Leibniz who proposed to someone at the age of 50. Instead of saying yes, she said to him that she needed to consider his proposal. This also gave Leibniz the opportunity to consider his proposal, causing him to come to the well considered conclusion that she wasn't right for him. The reason I include this little anecdote is to show the possibility of good coming out of bad. I hope you are all doing all right, and let us pray that we return back to school sooner rather than later. Farewell for now. Cheerio.
Hi guys, it's Will. I just thought I'd make a quick casual video going through two things that I found have been really good for maintaining good mental health for me, as well as some things that have worked for my friends. So firstly, if I was to recommend one thing that you guys could do that's pretty easy and straightforward, it's just writing down three things that you're grateful for each day, whether that's in the morning or before you go to bed. I've found that just having this reflection and thinking of the small things, not like the big things, just like the small things, whether it's like your morning coffee or something that you are really grateful for, It's so important that we try and find positives in the negative that is COVID at the moment. So I think if you guys try that, you might be better off for it. And secondly, if I was to recommend another thing, it would just be getting out for a walk. You know, turning your phone on silent and just getting out and being with nature. It's so important that we try and maintain a clear head and therefore just good mental health. So I hope you guys have a great day and try those 2 tips and, you know, let me know how it goes.
Hey everyone, hope you're all keeping well. These lockdowns can be very challenging a lot of the time, and they tend to test our emotions, and that's completely understandable. They don't get any easier no matter how many times we go through them. So please don't be hard on yourself if you're not as productive one day, or your communication with others might have fallen under the radar a little bit. It's so important to take time out for yourself and truly take a break. That being said, though, do try your best to stay in contact with those around you. It can really help settle you and bring about that degree of normality. I think online schooling can become quite overwhelming a lot of the time. And it can be difficult to switch off between home life and school life because they tend to just blend into each other a lot of the time. That being said, ensure that you're taking a lot of breaks. However that may look for you, being able to put yourself in a different environment can help reduce those feelings of stress or feeling overwhelmed, or as if the days are simply just repeating themselves. Give yourself permission to truly take a step back and acknowledge that however you are doing your best, and that's really all that matters. If you are struggling more than usual, which is completely understandable and it's completely fine, please do reach out. There are so many wonderful people and great resources out there to help you, and no issue is too big or too small. Stay safe, look out for those around you, look out for friends and family, and most importantly, look after yourself.